Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, if you didn't catch it, we took on the New York Rangers in the conference finals, and we're up here in the Stanley Cup finals for the first time in franchise history, and likely our last time too, I think, in a way, because if we don't win here, I feel like our team is definitely going to start to fall off a little bit because of age and all that type of thing. But this is our best chance that we're probably going to get with this team. And it's been a very, very successful playoff run up to this point. We've went through some very tough teams, but now we have a tough team in Calgary to take on in the Cup Finals, who are 12-4 while we're 12-5. So both of us have been pretty similar teams in a sense, except for they've been a little bit more of a team that's structured around defense while we're structured around offense more. But we also do play a solid defensive game too. But you can see our entire playoff run up to this point. Round one, we went to 7 games with the Florida Panthers. We managed to win those last 2 games after we were on the brink of elimination, and that got us to that second round. And since then, we've never really looked back. We had a really good second round against the President's Trophy winning Montreal Canadiens, where we won in 5 games, with mostly every game being a very good defensive effort. And then you can see in that last episode in the conference finals, the New York Rangers, we took them out also in 5 games with a bunch of good defensive efforts and some not so much, but we did outscore them by quite a bit in a lot of those games. As you can see, those last 3 games, we scored 18 goals combined. So our offense has been great. But now we're going to be running into a Calgary team that has one of the best goaltenders in this franchise mode, and that could pose a difference. We do both have good goaltending in terms of the playoff numbers right now, but Calgary's goaltender has won a Vezina in the past, so he's been a very consistently good goaltender. He's also won a Stanley Cup with Calgary a few years ago, but you can see with our team right now at the moment, like, we're just getting very good depth scoring throughout like the entire forward group. Everybody on this team has over 7 points on the offensive side of things. Defense, not so much, but we're getting some really good defensive efforts from guys like Booz and Hartnell, so hopefully that continues into the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the goaltending with us has been great, with Burkov with a .917 at this point in time. However, if we go to the Calgary Flames and look at their stats, you can see they're led by obviously their top guys, because we looked at their lineup last episode. And guys like Clefbaum, 91 overall, 18 points. You have also Roberto Keeling, who's an 86, but has 17 points. So they also have kind of that good depth scoring at the moment on their offensive side of things, which is kind of crazy. And nobody has below 5 points. So technically we have the better depth scoring, and McKenna's not actually putting up as much points as I was expecting him to, but he has still been really good with them. Defensively, they get offense from this Peltier guy, who's only 80 overall, but he has 12 points through 16 games. So despite their defensive core being a little bit weaker overall wise, they are still getting some good offense. But the main thing, as I was mentioning, is their goaltending. Colin Hutton has been great. He has a .929 through 3 rounds, and he has won a Stanley Cup before with the Calgary Flames just 2 years ago. And yeah, he has been one of the better goaltenders over the last few years. As you can see there, he likely won the Vezina with a .922 save percentage through 60 games, which is insane. And then, yeah, the playoff-wise, he's been a very solid playoff goaltender. He wasn't so much last year, so if we could get to him, maybe we could score a lot of goals on him. But other than that, he's a very solid goaltender. And the crazy thing is, we could have probably drafted this guy, but I don't know who we took instead in 2030 instead of him, which is kind of interesting. So anyways, that is basically their team and their player stats. In our team, I think we got to get into your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about our conference finals win and what you guys think is going to happen with this Stanley Cup Finals, because this is going to be pretty crazy to see what ends up happening with our team this year. I'm really hoping that this year is our cup win for sure. So the first comment is from Josh Arsenault, who says, I wouldn't let the goalie walk. He has played playoff experience. You're better off letting the younger goalies go. You don't have much time to waste with the goalies with no experience in a starting role. And I tend to agree. There was a thing about we had like a little bit of a dilemma with the goaltending situation in last episode, because basically Burkov is a pending UFA, but we also do have Budens who could take over that starting role next season, Michelli, Sims. But from what Josh is saying is he said that he wouldn't let Burkov go, basically, and that he would probably let one of the younger guys go, so somebody like Michelli, who's a pending RFA instead. And then we might honestly have like multiple goalies in the NHL. I don't really know exactly how that's going to work, but there is a good chance that we are going to be re-signing Burkov, because Logan May also has a comment about that. He says, you only have a certain amount of years left of the sim. Sign Burkov with the 85% trick at a fewer years, 5 maybe. You never had a goalie this good, and likely could sign him for $1 million or less than he's getting now. In Burkov, we trust. So I'm going to trust what you guys are saying, and we're likely going to give Burkov his extension after I get through these comments. And he probably will accept, but I'm hoping that he could actually still simulate good next season, because obviously if he doesn't simulate good and we didn't win a Stanley Cup, then it's going to kind of look like a bad contract. But I'm hoping that he can play like he's been doing right now, because regular season-wise, he was even actually pretty good. He had a .914 save percentage, so this is definitely our best goalie we've ever had in this series, and hopefully he can continue to do that. The next comment is from Santa Otaku, who says, still took you less time to get to a conference finals than the current Leaf streak of futility. Yeah, futility. So at least you have that going for you, Lord Stanley or bust. And yeah, I totally agree. I think it's Lord Stanley or bust. If we do not win it here, I think there is a good chance that you'll see guys like Mauricio Wilm start to drop off. Alan Lehman start to drop off potentially too. Ahinen could also drop off. Kolesnik is already dropping in potential, so you could see a lot of these guys start to dwindle, and that's going to obviously hurt us quite a bit. The next comment is from Flame Husky, who says, well, folks, here we are at the edge of glory. 4 more wins, and this team becomes a part of hockey history. No EA voodoo this time. Let's get it done, boys. And I hope that there's no EA voodoo, but at the same time, I think the game's been on our side this entire playoff run, because I don't really know if this team... I think this team always had it in them to get to a Stanley Cup Finals, but at the same time, we went through a President's Trophy winning team, a defending Cup champion, so... I think our team is kind of like a team that's like been playing with like fate or destiny for the last few rounds, but obviously this Calgary team is the best team I think in the Western Conference, if I remember right, so this is going to be another tough task for sure. But if we get it done, it at least proves that we are able to get through really good teams in the playoffs, and obviously we can win Stanley Cups, which I don't think we're going to win more than one, but honestly it could happen, because I think in my Ice Tiger series, I didn't think we were going to win a Stanley Cup, and then we end up getting like a couple of them within a span of like 5 or 6 seasons, if I remember right. And the last and final comment is from Ezra Hambrook, who says, congratulations to the Halifax Raiders on finally winning the long-awaited Prince of Wales trophy. This job isn't over just yet, so don't sell for anything less than Lord Stanley himself. I gotta admit that I was honestly expecting that EA Voodoo to screw you over when you jumped into the gameplay. Very glad that didn't happen. And I wasn't really expecting like EA Voodoo in that game that much, just because of the fact that we were up like 5 or 6 to 1, so I don't think we were going to blow that lead with like 5 minutes to go, especially when the time's a little bit more accelerated. So I didn't think we were going to blow that game, and I'm glad that we obviously didn't, because that would have really sucked, especially in a game like that kind of mattered a lot. So anyways, let's get into this extension with Burkov. I do actually need to open up my calculator on my computer and do a little bit of math. So what can we get Burkov down to for 5 years? What is he wanting? 9.575. So he doesn't budge that much on the asking price, which is interesting. But if we tried the 85% trick, I think we'll be able to get him to sign for sure. But there's a good chance we're going to lose some really good players this offseason by doing this. But I trust that you guys say that he's our best goaltender, so we might as well do it. So it looks like we could probably get him for a 5-year deal at 8.14, which is like 8.15, I guess, because there's no 4. But I think that's a decent deal for a goaltender of his caliber if he continues on that pace. Obviously, if we sign him, there's a chance. Well, Budens will likely still be our backup next season. I think Michelli, I'm not going to even qualify just because he's already 24. Give an AI team a free goaltender for fun. And then Sims could probably be like a 3rd-string goalie, and then we'd still need some AHL goalies. So we have Grossman, and I don't think we have anybody else at the moment. So maybe I would hold on to Michelli as an AHL goalie. I don't really know exactly, but we'll come to that road once we get to that point. So anyways, now that that's all done, now we can finally get into the Stanley Cup Finals and see if this team wins. We have home ice advantage in the Cup Finals, which is kind of nice. Because obviously we haven't been a good team so far on home ice, right? We've been more of a road team, was it? I think it was that way. But anyways, it would be nice to get some more home wins. Last time we were on home ice was this nice 8-5 win, and we also had a 4-2 win there as well on in Game 3. So it would be very nice to get those type of results in this Cup Finals. let's get into this and waste no more time and see if we could take a 1-0 series lead here. This could be a series that goes 7 games, I see, because both teams have good goaltending and also that offense that's really good. We also have a better defensive core than them, but it's also, I wouldn't say an insane defensive core, but both have simulated really well. So here we go. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the long-awaited Cup Finals. The Halifax fans have came out in flocks. Can we get a 1-0 series lead here on the Calgary Flames? Put out the torch, so to speak. Let's see what happens. First period. 1-0 Flames. Not ideal, but Burkov has been keeping us in the game at least. So actually, no, he hasn't. 1 goal on 6 shots is not ideal, but it's better than 3 goals on 6 shots or whatever the heck it was that Askarov did in last round against us. We have no goals on 13 shots, so we are getting our chances, but we just haven't been able to find a way to score on their good goaltender, which obviously that could be the difference in the series. Is if their goaltender plays like he did in the first 3 rounds, it's going to be very tough for us because Calgary's a great defensive team. We're a good offensive team, and right now we're showing that we're a good offensive team by getting shots, but we need to obviously convert on those shots too. So it would be really nice to tie this game up in the second at least and not let them on the board if possible, because they like suffocating teams basically, and that's how they win games. Second period. 3-2 for us. Let's go. That's a huge period, and it's also on the heels of Merrick Classic. This guy's literally had 3 games in the last 2 rounds combined where he scored like 2 goals, I think, and because I'm pretty sure against the Rangers he had 2 games where he scored 2 goals, and he already has a 2-goal game here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hartman scored first though early into the period. Then you get the 2 goals from Vlasic, and Supre pulls the Flames within 1 goal pretty late into that. So that was not a good goal to give up, but shots are even 22 apiece. It's been a pretty even game so far, as I kind of expected. Let's see if we could lock this game down in the 3rd period and get some insurance, because that would be very helpful. Come on, Vlasic. I know you want a hat trick because you've been scoring 2 goals a game. Grice ties it up. That's not great. And they take the lead. God damn, man. I hate the Simidgen sometimes. Are you serious? 3 unanswered goals from the Flames of their own in the 3rd period. And Burkov is having a bit of a tough time. We've been able to score on Hutton in this one. Vlasic does get his hat trick late. Do we have a chance to tie it? No, we do not. Savret the empty net. We lose 6-4 in game 1. That's not a great defensive and goaltending effort. Burkov gets that contract extension offer thrown at him, and he's just kind of distracted by it, I think, now because we're in the playoffs. But not an ideal first game, especially in terms of goaltending. Offensively was good, but yeah, that 3rd period was not ideal. Vlasic had a hat trick in a game that we ended up losing in, so we might have to make some adjustments. Not just yet exactly, but we will probably have to at some point. So Hartman from Haken, and then you have Vlasic from Del Rovere and Wilm, Vlasic from Wilm and Del Rovere, and Vlasic from Del Rovere and Kolesnik. So the top line doing well, but the other lines not so much. We had all 3 stars in that game, yet we end up losing. That is actually kind of insane. Let me take a look at these player stats here. Who was badly minus? Ooh, okay, so that 2nd line did not do well, so I might drop Ahinen back to the 3rd line. Yeah, I think that's one thing I'm going to do. What about from a defensive standpoint? Kolesnik was minus badly. No other defenseman was -2. Paco and Boozer -1 apiece. And Budens actually came in those final 9 minutes, so Burkov was actually yanked after the 5 goals. Wow. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. He's been playing good up to this point. You could maybe say that he was a little bit nervous because obviously it's the first Cup Finals game in franchise history, but not the best first game for Burkov in a Stanley Cup Finals scenario. I don't think Fragapane was ever injured. How's the AHL team? Oh, there's Burkov accepting that extension. I hope that was worth it. I hope that was worth it. AHL team's tied at 2 as they just lost in overtime. Okay, let's go back to edit lines here and see if we got to do something. A lot of people were gaining morale because Burkov got that extension, but we are going to drop Ahinen down to the 3rd line just to change things up a little bit because that 2nd line was minus last game a bit. And we will also go Kolesnik top pairing Hartnell with Paco. And I think that's all we'll pretty much do. But yeah, Burkov's stats dropped from a 917 down to a 912, so he's got to have a good response here or else we might end up looking at a different goalie for this Cup Finals, which is not really what I had in mind. Dodge is still losing morale. I don't really want to put anybody else into the lineup at the moment. I don't know why Dodge is losing morale, though. It makes no sense. He's a minor scoring forward, but he's losing morale because he's not playing. And then the AHL team is still good. We could definitely call up some people from the AHL, like Sharov, who's been playing down there in the Calgary Cup finals, but at the same time, the AHL team is in the finals too. I don't really want to screw with their season that much as well, but we might have to if we end up going down 0-2. That was our first loss since Game 2 of last round against the Rangers, so this is a pretty crucial game. If we win this game, obviously we have a tie series headed to Calgary. If we lose it, though, we need to win 2 games in their building. Calgary has been actually a very good road team this playoff run, so it makes sense that they beat us. But we need to definitely win games on home ice as well, considering we have home ice advantage in this Cup Finals. So this is a very crucial game, I'd say. Can we tie the series headed to Calgary? Can we do it? We just got to get some good defensive effort, and we'll be back in this series for sure, because our offense has been good. Just the defense hasn't been in the goaltending so far. First period of game number 2. 2-1 us. Hey, that's a good start. Clefbaum does open the scoring for the Flames, so they do have the lead early in that game as well. But Del Rovere scores and Weber scores, so good to see Del Rovere still putting up points. He's been definitely our best forward in terms of picking up points every single game. And then Weber has been a little bit better as of the last 2 rounds, because he did have 2 goals. I think it was in that last game against the Rangers, or maybe it was that 6-something win. I can't honestly remember, but it's 2-1 for us after one with the shots 12-9. Let's hope that Burkhoff could have a good second period and our offense could get maybe some more insurance. Second period, 4-1 us. That's exactly what we need. Ahinen scores a power play goal from Hartnell, and that has us up 4-1 going into the third. That's exactly the type of game we're wanting to have right now up to this point. Because last game we gave up too much goals. We did score a lot of goals. Now we're scoring a lot of goals but not giving up a lot of goals. So we are scoring a lot more on Hutton than I actually expected, considering he's been playing so good up to this point. But shots are 25-19. We're up by 3 goals. Let's just not have a third period like last game and lock this one down. And then we'll have a tie series headed to Calgary, which would be really good. So third period underway. Power play for us. We don't score. Penalty kill. And they get a power play goal from Grice to pull them within 2. That's not ideal. Final 10 minutes of this third period. A big goal there from Richter makes it a 5-2 lead. And Haken scores to make it 6-2. Oh my goodness. And Will makes it 7-2. Jeez. Weber makes it 8-2. Okay. Okay, boys. I see that you can score goals consistently. 9-2 Kolesnik. What the heck is happening? And then they get a shorthand goal to make it 9-3. And that is your final. We win 9-3 in a crazy game 2 of the Cup Finals. Halifax fans are probably screaming on the streets, considering that area where the Scotiabank Center is. It's a very small area, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, damn, that's insane. That might be the most craziest game I've seen for a Cup Finals. Like, Richter scoring, Haken, Wilm, Weber, Kolesnik. We also had goals from Ahinen and Hartnell, Weber, and Del Rovere. Like, I feel like we had goals from, like, most of the team in that game. Like, I don't think anybody had multiple goals, right? I don't even know. But let's take a look at those player stats and all that. Let me move my face over because I think I forgot to do this last game. So Del Rovere from Lassick, Weber from Habscheid and Ahinen from Habscheid and Weber, Hartnell from Wilm and Del Rovere, Richter from Hammerline and Lehman, Haken from Sergeyev and Hartnell, Wilm from Lassick and Del Rovere. Weber had actually 2 goals. He gets one from Ahinen and Habscheid. I think he had 2 goals, or maybe not. Maybe that was the last game. And then Kolesnik from Hartman and Sergeyev. That's his first goal of the playoffs. Not a bad time to get it. Oh my goodness. Look at all the points on this team. You had 4 guys on 3 points, 4 guys on 2 points, and then you had a bunch of guys on 1 point. Everybody on this team had a point in the game except for these 4 defenders, Burrish, Booze, Boys, and Paco. But everybody on the team was pretty much plus in the game as well, except for the top forwards, which is kind of interesting because I guess they got their points on the power play. That's insane. Like I said, this might be one of the most like stacked teams in terms of production down the middle and all that stuff. Like every single line picks up points. Burkhoff, not the best save percentage again, but he did win the game, and he only allowed 3 goals. Weber gets first star, Ahinen the second star, and Del Rovere the third star. So a very good game, a very dominant win Obviously, now we need to continue that into Calgary. We've been a very good road team up to this point, so it would be nice to get some good wins on the road as well. That's a nice 9-3 win. And now we have a total of 13 goals in our first 2 games of the series to their 9. So it's been a much more offensive series than I actually predicted, because both goaltenders have been good up to this point, and now they are not playing that good. So I think we got to keep the team the same since we just won a game. Obviously, this is kind of similar to when we had that 8-5 win over the Rangers. I didn't want to really change much. Obviously, I hope our defense could continue to play like it did last game in a way. And our offense, it doesn't need to necessarily repeat what it just did with that 9-3 win. But it is obviously nice for us to score a lot of goals. But we need to do it consistently, not just all in one game, which we've been doing so far up to this point. Okay, let's keep the team the exact same, I think, for this game. Let's see if we could win a game on Calgary's home ice. If we could win one of these or 2 of these, we set ourselves up for a very good spot. If we only don't win a single one of these, we're in a very bad spot. So we need to win at least 1 game in Calgary to get back at them for winning one on our home ice. So here we go. Game 3 in Calgary. Can we take a series lead in this Cup Finals? Because we've not had that lead in the series yet at this point in time. First period of game number 3. 2-1 Flames. Not not ideal. Reese Del Rivera open to scoring for us, which is great, but they get 2 unanswered goals from Emerson and Severette. I'm not really liking the way Burkhoff has been playing in this Cup Finals. I don't know if it's just a team we're going up against that's able to score a lot of goals on him, but 2 goals on 7 shots. He definitely has not had an easy time against the Flames, which he did against like the Rangers, the President's Trophy winning Montreal Canadiens. Not as much against the Florida Panthers, so he's kind of returning to that form a bit, but not an ideal first period, but we're only down by a goal. We are out shooting them, so if we could get a goal back in this next period, not allow them to score anything, we could definitely still win this one. So here we go, second period. This is a crucial period for the series and for this game, of course. Let's see what happens. And we do not get anything. We outshot them badly in that period, but their goaltender definitely a little bit mad about all the goals he let in last game. And we only have 1 goal on 23 shots. We're outshooting them 23-13, and we're down by a goal. So we're still in this game, but their goaltending is doing much better than it has done up to this point in this Cup Finals. So I guess we got to just find a way to solve Hutton, or else Hutton might steal them a game, which is not ideal. So let's see what happens in this third period. See if we could get that equalizer. That would be huge if we could get it here early. And yes, we do get it. Alan Lehman ties the game up at 2. That's a big goal from Lehman, but they answer right back. And then we answer right back with our own goal from Richter. Let's go. Come on, boys. We got this. Final few minutes of this third period, tied at 3. This is a very close series, at least in this game. Final few minutes, and we do score with 16 seconds left. No, it was with 21, but who gives a crap? We win 4-3 because Alan Lehman scores a game-winning goal. That is a massive goal. That could change the complexion of this Cup Finals. A 3-goal third period, and yeah, we're up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals now. We outshot them 38-24. We got the best of Hutton late. What an effort from the guys. They didn't let off on the steam. Lehman with a big early goal. They took the lead right back, but Richter tied it right back up again. And then a huge late goal from Lehman. I thought it was going to go to overtime, and he says no. And we win 4-3 in Game 3. And we have taken a game on the road in Calgary to respond to their game that they took on our home ice. So Del Rivera from Last against Sergeyev, Lehman from Hamalainen and Kolsnik, Richter from Kolsnik and Hamalainen, and Lehman from Del Rivera and Wilm. And just like that, if we could win the next game, we set ourselves up for a very good spot. But obviously Calgary could respond to that quite well, I think, as well. Yeah, Lehman was really good. He's probably first star of the game because he's had the game winner. Okay, and yeah, Burkhoff has really struggled in this Cup Finals. Like, he's not going to get a Conn Smythe if we win the Stanley Cup. His numbers have just started to plummet against this Flames team, but maybe it's just because the Flames are really built compared to a lot of the other teams we played. So, Lehman first star, he had 2 goals and 4 hits. Del Rivera the second star with 1 goal, 1 assist, and 5 hits. And Kolsnik had 2 assists and 3 hits. So, Kolsnik's been picking up his offense a little bit here in the Stanley Cup Finals, which is kind of nice, considering he hadn't really done much up to that point. But he is a DFD, so it kind of makes sense. Okay, and just like that, we are up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, if we win this next game, we have a very good spot to try and win that Stanley Cup. But also, that means that they could still come back from a 3-1 deficit. All these different scenarios. It would be very nice if we could win this game in Calgary as well and give us a really good chance at winning that Stanley Cup. So we've taken out the last 2 teams in 5 games. So if we win this game, we could potentially do that to Calgary as well, which would be insane. So we've been on a very good run of pace. Let's see what happens. Let's keep the team the exact same for this game because might as well, since we've won 2 straight games. The team has shown that they're back to the way they need to be. Let's see if we could win this game and have a 3-1 stranglehold on Calgary going home. Let's do this, boys. Let's do it. Let's do this. I believe in you. Let's get to Hutton again early if we can. First period of game number 4. 4-1 Flames. That's not ideal. And Burkov allowed 4 goals on 11 shots. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Burkov has been very bad in this Cup Finals. That's not a good first. I mean, we could still respond and get maybe a couple goals back in the second period, but we can't allow them to keep scoring all these goals. Like, they're definitely doing a lot better against us than any other team has in the past. Donovan scored early on. Richter tied the game up, which was nice, but then they get 3 unanswered. Holtz and 2 late goals from Richmond, and this one with 9 seconds left is actually not a good one at all. Because if we didn't allow that, we'd be down by only 2 goals, but now we're down by 3. So we need to have a much better second period. Like, we need to basically flip the script. We need to score like 2 goals in the second at least and not allow them to score a single goal if we want to get back into this, because this game might be a write-off and might be Calgary's version of our game where we scored 9 goals. Let's see if we can have a good second period as a response. Second period. 5-2. Not ideal. They made it 5-1. Burkov was still in net. I would have taken him out after that first period probably. And Del Rivera made it 5-2 to get us back into the game again. But shots are pretty even, so it's just been the goaltending that's not doing that well, I guess, or the defensive play. But, yeah, this definitely has the making of a 7-game series potentially. We need to have a strong third period here, else we're going to have a tie series headed home. Let's see if we could get anything going in this third period. It would be nice to get back into this game, but I don't think that's going to happen. Wasn't expecting that, especially after a good win in the last one. We could have honestly been down 3-1 if we didn't have that late goal, though, from Lehman in the last game. So, got to shout out him at least. There's a late goal from Hartman. Bankston was in net, which is kind of interesting. And we lose 5-3 in Game 4, and we have a tie series. So it's now down to a best of 3 to get that win and win that Stanley Cup. Not ideal. So Richter from Booze, Del Rivera from Lassick, and Hartman from Hartnell and Sergeyev. What are the plus minuses looking like on this team in this game? Ooh. Okay, so a couple of guys, that third line got completely shredded. Weber was -3, Ahinen -2, and Habscheid -2. So we are going to rework the second/third line a bit again. And goaltending-wise, yeah, Burkov has been tragic. Absolutely tragic. So I might have to look at... I don't want to take him out. Budens might be good to put in for a game, but at the same time, it's a bit of a risk. And you guys would say probably to trust Burkov up to this point. So, Del Rivera's on 32 points. What kind of scares me is Chicago was up 2-1 on the Flames as well, but then the Flames won 3 straight games and then won the series. So I'm hoping that's not the same thing here. Just hoping. Let's see what we could do. Trying to think if there's anything that might work better. Let's try and rework this a little bit. Yeah, sure, why not? Actually, who has the better shooting? 3-star shooting, jeez. 3.5 star. I guess Weber would stay on that right side. Defensively, let me take a look at these plus minuses. Jeez, a plus 20. Okay, we're going to go back to Hartnell and Booze, and Kolesnik will play with Boys. Paco will be going down with Burish. And down to a 907 from a 917. I'm almost thinking about taking Burkov out and letting Budens play a game. But it's a major risk. That's the only thing. A lot of these guys are losing morale that are depth pieces, which is kind of annoying. Okay, Burkov, you're the man still. We got to trust in you. You got us this far. You could definitely win us a cup. And I don't think there's anybody I want to really call up from the AHL at the moment. So let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. It would be nice if our power play was better, but it doesn't really seem to simulate that good. AHL team, did they lose in the cup? Oh, they did lose in the Calder Cup finals. They were up 2-1, and I guess they lost 3 straight games. Their last game, they lost 7-2. That sucks. I thought they would have potentially had a chance to win that Calder Cup, but unfortunately, Burnaby will not get it. Hopefully our NHL team can get the Stanley Cup at least, because that would be a good response to that AHL team losing. But it's a best of 3 now. Calgary's been a really good road team, and there's 2 home games for us coming up, which is not ideal, potentially. Oh, okay. I think we're ready to get into this one. Not that I really want to see us potentially lose a cup, but I also obviously want to see us win a cup. So who knows what's going to happen in these final 2 to 3 games. Let's get it done, guys. We need to go back to where we were with that 4-3 win and that 9-3 win if possible, because those losses that we've had have not been ideal. Like, we've been scoring goals still in them, but the goaltending has just been definitely the downfall in this cup finals right now. I wouldn't really put it on defense yet, but it could be the defense as well. Here we go. This is a massive game. The winner of this game will be 1 win away from winning the Stanley Cup. Calgary won it a couple years ago, so it would be nice for us to get it for a change. Let's see what happens here in Game 5. This is crucial. First period. 1-0 Flames. Geisberger scores on Burkov. A better first period from Burkov for sure. 1 goal against on 17 shots is really good, but the fact that we gave up 17 shots isn't. That's a lot of shots to give up in 1 period. We did have 13 shots of our own, so it was a lot of back and forth, it seems like, but we're down by a goal. We need to have a strong second period here. We need to have basically our offense show up a little bit, and then hopefully Burkov could kind of do what he did in the first period and kind of keep us in it. Because if he could keep us in the game and our offense could get to where it was a few games ago, we could definitely still win this game. So let's see what happens in a very, very big second period. I'd prefer if we do not score to not allow anybody to score in that second period. So, second period. 2-0 Flames. Not ideal. A goal from Oscar Clefbaum. We're being outshot 30-22. Burkov is definitely having, I'd say, his best game so far of this cup finals. But then our offense isn't showing up. Like, we're going to need to win 2 straight games to win the cup if we end up losing this game. So basically do what we did against Florida, because against Florida we had to win game 6 and 7 to win that series. So we got to basically do that if we end up losing this one. We could still have a strong third period and get back into this game now as well. It's still close. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can get back into this game. We need some goals from Mauricio or somebody. Clefbaum makes it 3-0. I think that might be it for this game, which means we are going to be on the brink of elimination in the cup finals. Oh, there's a goal from Maddox Boys, of all people, to pull us within 2. But is it a little too late? It probably is, right? Yep, looks like it. Not ideal. And we got to win 2 straight games in this Stanley Cup Finals, which is not great. Final shots were 37-35 for us, but we lose 3-1. So their goaltending got back to where it was before the series, pretty much. Boys with their only goal from Ahinen and Lehman, so, what do we do? And yeah, Colton Hutton definitely was a lot better in that game compared to where he was a few games ago. Was there any badly minus people on our team? There was a couple -2s, and it was that second line. Come on, man. We didn't get this far to lose in the cup finals. We got to win 2 games, and one of them is in Calgary, which is not great. I'm going to readjust our lineup, but we got to find a way to win these next 2 games. If we could win in 7 games, that would be amazing. But we might end up losing in the cup finals after a crazy good run. We're going to also probably... Let's move Weber up to the second line. And move Habshai down. So I guess this will be the new look. Third line. We could always try moving somebody like Hagen up as well. Because all these 2-way forwards, that's Sniper. I don't know if Hartman should be a 4th line center. Since he's a sniper down there. Trying to think of what we could do that works best. There's not really much I could do, I don't think. Burkov has been not very good, but he has to be our guy still, because I don't really think I would trust Bodens in this type of scenario. Wilson just keeps losing morale. I don't know if that's dragging down the team. There's nobody I would call up, really, I don't think, at this point. Or try to inject into our lineup. Like, I mean, I could call up Sherov, but who am I going to scratch on this roster? There's not really anybody I want to scratch. I think one also drastic thing we're going to do is we're going to swap Lehman and Lassick. They both have been really good at points sometimes in these playoffs, but we got to rework our top six a tiny bit to see if we could get a more balanced approach. That way every line is a bit maybe more balanced. I don't want to put Habscheid as a fourth liner because that just does not really make much sense. But it could be done, but trying to think, is that good for us? Let's go Booze back, or Paco back up with Kolesnik, boys back down. Let's go with this. We got to win 2 straight games. If we win this next game, I might not make any more line changes, but there is a chance we could still make more. But we got to win this game on the road. We lose this game, we lose in the Cup Finals in 6 games, and our season comes to an end. And then there's also a high chance that Mauricio Wilm will never get that Stanley Cup, which is not great. We win this game, we force a Game 7 back on home ice, where we have a chance to win the Stanley Cup in front of our home crowd, which would be amazing. So this is a must-win game. The last time we were in Calgary, we lost 5-3. But we did win 4-3 there at one point. But technically, we could have already lost the Stanley Cup by now because of that last game here, right there, 4-3. We won with only a few seconds left. So let's see what happens. This is a crucial game. Let's see if we can get to a Game 7. Please, boys, you could do it. Don't lose in the Cup Finals, because I don't know if this entire team is going to be that good next season. Let's go 8-time simulation. Must-win game. If we could get that first goal, that would be huge. Come on, Mauricio. You haven't scored in a bit. Penalty kill. Oh, my goodness. They score first. A power play goal from Savret. They get one right after. Donovan. Yep, Burkov has literally screwed us over Cup. I know I'm going to blame him in a sense. He got us to this point, but he's also going to sink the ship too. Down 3-0 after 1 is not good. Maybe I should have went to Bodens for this game, but I think you guys probably would have said we got to ride with the Burkov ship, and that's the way we're doing it. And we're down 3-0 after 1. Now, there is still 40 minutes left of this game, but the chances of us getting 3 unanswered, I think, are very slim. We do have the offensive capability, but the goaltending is just not doing what it was doing in the first 3 rounds. And the Flames have all the experience in the world at closing out series and winning Stanley Cups, so that's a little bit scary. Their goaltending has started to come on a lot more in these last 2 games as well. It's not in a good spot to be in. We need to have a very strong second period here, or else we're likely going to lose in the Cup Finals. It's been a very good run up to this point, though. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Come on, boys. We need an answer. We cannot just be down 3-0 going into the third. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties. You got to be disciplined. Yeah, this is not a good second period either. Just not finding any way to score a goal. Like, our offense is just completely dried up. I should have known that we were going to lose this Cup Finals after we scored 9 goals in the game, because then your offense just completely goes vacant, and we have not scored in this game yet. Shots are close, 22-17, but we're 20 minutes away from getting eliminated in the Cup Finals. I'm not even going to intervene at any point in this game, likely, but we need to have a third period comeback here. If Wilm scores like 2 goals in this third period, or somebody gets us back into this game, that would be insane. I honestly don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think I've seen much third period comeback. So let's see what happens in this third period. Is our season done? Early goal from Richter. Okay, that might be a huge one. But Keeling answers back. Bodens is in net now. Yep. I'd say Burkov sunk this ship in the Cup Finals. He was good up to this point, but definitely did not do well in this Cup Finals. And unfortunately, your Halifax Raiders, after an improbable run, are going to lose in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2040. And we might not ever go back to a Cup Finals. This was our first time getting past the second/third round even. and we unfortunately lose in the Cup Finals. We got outshot 35-26. We didn't even really try as much as we should have, it seems like, in this last game. And yeah, that was not great. That really sucks, man. That really sucks, considering this team, like I thought, I literally had a good chance of winning the Cup this year based on our last 2 series. But the fact that we took them, both teams that we played prior, out in 5 games apiece, I knew that there was going to be a higher chance that this series would go longer games. But obviously, after they were able to take that 3-2 series lead, I didn't think it was going to be able to happen that we get to a Game 7. Richter from Weber and Hartnell was our only goal and the last goal of the season. That early goal helped us get back into the game, but nobody else wanted to show up. Budens actually was really good in that game. He gets 3rd star after he came in for Burkov. So maybe I should have went for Budens at the start in this game, and we would have won. But I had to ride with Burkov, considering we just gave him that extension and all that. But honestly, Burkov might not be the guy. I'm starting to think. I don't know. I don't know if I would really blame it on our defensive play. But I think, yeah, Burkov just really sucked a lot in this Cup Finals. And then Mauricio Wilm was a -2, which is not really what you want from your top guy. But, wow, that sucks. We had the better face-off advantage, surprisingly. But we still lose in the Cup Finals. Man, that is a heartbreaker. Because I don't think we're going to get back there next season, but you never know. I mean, it could happen, but we're likely going to lose a lot of good players this offseason because Lassik's up for renewal. Weber's up for renewal, I think. So there's some really good pieces that we might lose. Damn. That was such a good run. Like, we got offense from tons of players on this team, but we couldn't get it done. Like, Wilm on 21 points in 23 games was really solid. You had Richter on 20 points, which is amazing, considering this is only his 2nd year in the NHL, I think, or 3rd year in the NHL. Like, his playoff numbers have been really good. 21 goals through 44 games. Ahinen was pretty good too, 18 points. Hartman, only 10 points and -2. He might have been one of our lower-end players, but he's still 7 goals for a guy that's in, I think, his 1st season? Yeah, his 1st season is pretty good. He had 14 goals in the regular season, so he did really well in the playoffs, but wasn't enough. Lassik on 27 points, he was really good, especially in the last 2 rounds. Lehman on 21 was good. Weber on 19 was good. Hamalainen on 18 was really good. You had Habscheid on 14, so it is good as well. Haken, a little bit more quiet, but he's a two-way forward. 9 points still is really solid for a 4th-line guy. Del Rivera on 32, he probably would have been up there for Conn Smythe if he would have won us the Stanley Cup. Sergeyev only the 1 goal, but 11 points as a 4th-liner is really nice. And then from a defensive standpoint, Hartnell was fantastic, 12 points and a +18. Kolsnik had 8 points and +4. Booze had 5 points +16. So yeah, Booze and Hartnell were phenomenal defensively. Boys on 4 goals is not bad, but only a +2. Yeah, these guys were kind of out there for a little bit more goals, it looks like, which kind of sucks, but oh well. We did get into, it looks like, a bit of penalty trouble, especially on the defensive side of things, because all these guys had, like, a lot of penalty minutes. So there's that. And then the goaltending numbers, yeah, Burkov dropped from a 917 to a 904. Is it just because the Flames were really good? I don't really think it was. I don't. Because Budens was really good when he came in relief. A 947 save percentage through 3 games. Or through 117 minutes, we'll say. So, I don't really know. I don't think we're going to get back to that point again, but at least a lot of these players got the taste of trying to go for that Stanley Cup, but that's still a big heartbreaking loss to have, as Calgary ends up going through us after going through Chicago. They did the exact same thing they did to Chicago. They were literally down 2-1 in the series, and then they won 3 straight games and rallied to knock us out. Oh, that sucks a lot. Well, I guess we'll get to the awards and wrap up the season. See if there's any retirements, but Calgary has won their 2nd cup in 3 seasons, and the Chicago Wolves also won against our AHL team. So in not the back-to-back, we didn't pull off the double, the AHL and the NHL champions. We actually lose in both finals. Like, that's a little bit more of an insult to wound. So Calgary had 2nd cup in the last 3 years. Montreal, the President's Trophy, we beat them, but that didn't really matter. And yeah, Calgary and us in the Cup Finals. Hey, at least we got a Prince of Wales. Who gives a crap? Mauricio Wilm, though, the Art Ross, as we forgot about almost because it's been a while since the regular season. Mauricio Wilm, also the Hearts. So good to see Wilm getting some awards, but the Stanley Cup would have been the cherry on top for him this season. Whitmore, the Norris. Carlson, the Lady Byng. Hillman, the Calder. Keeling, the Conn Smythe for Calgary. So that guy that was like an 86 overall won the Conn Smythe. He was really good, apparently. Burkov did win the Vezina and got us all the way to a Cup Finals, only to play like a goaltender that wasn't elite. But still, Burkov winning a Vezina is awesome. Hutton won it last year, which is kind of crazy. So it was the battle of the Vezina Trophy winning goaltenders in that Cup Finals. And also the Jennings goaltenders, too. Because Burkov won the Jennings this year. I think that's Luke Hughes winning the Bill Masterton. Klepis for Winnipeg wins the Jack Adams. Koskinen and Selke, we knocked him out. Wilm, the Lindsay, and a Fanaganov, the Richard. So, Wilm with a Lindsay, an Art Ross, and a Hart this season. And then we also had the Vezina Trophy winner and the Jennings winner. So, we had at least a lot of hardware, but the Stanley Cup would have been, like, literally, like I said, the cherry on top. Oh, man, that sucks. And we didn't even actually have a single AHL award despite getting to the Calder Cup Finals. So, that's kind of surprising. Okay. Guess we'll simulate up to the retirements and all that stuff now. I don't think we're going to lose anybody yet, but there is a chance that we could lose some people already. So, let's see who is going to retire. Also, draft lottery results, that type of thing. Toronto has the first overall pick, followed by Washington, Colorado, Boston, and Carolina. Okay, what about retirement-wise? Did we lose anybody? No, I don't think so. But Cole Caulfield has retired, which is kind of nice considering that guy used to tear us up when he was with the Canadiens. Anton Lundell. Some pretty good centers retiring. But I don't think we lost anybody, which is nice. There was some generated guys with that retired already, which is kind of crazy. Oh my goodness, I do not want to see that. That is disturbing. Brady Tkachuk is a Leaf retiring? Hell no. Hell to the nah. Yeah, I don't think we had any retirements, which is good. But, yeah. Oh! Darcy Wan retired at 33. Wow, he's the first guy to go that used to play with us. He was an AHL legend, pretty much, and almost won, like, Calder Cups and stuff, I think. No, he didn't even come close to it. Never mind. He was an original AHL player, almost. But he was with our AHL team for a long time. Only played one season in the NHL with 12 goals. And then, yeah, he was basically like a leader down there in the minors for a lot of young guys. And he decides to retire at 33 years old. Only 2 years of playoff experience. Because he was in those early stages when the team wasn't that good. But, damn, I wasn't expecting him to retire already. It would have been nice to have him maybe as like a depth option at some point. But, damn, I didn't expect that. Okay, so one former player has retired. Any other former players retire? No, I don't think this guy was ours, right? No, Carolina. But still, some generated guys are already retiring, which is kind of scary. Knight, Chandler Cunning at 35. Who was he with? I think I've played against him in the playoffs before. Maybe not. I don't think so, actually. And maybe we did when he was with Tampa. I don't really know. But, yeah, we didn't have any retirements, I think. But we did have that former one in Walton. So there's that. Coach retirement-wise, we did lose one of our coaches. And it was Ken. Okay, so we did lose an NHL coach. I don't remember what coach he was of ours, but I think he might have been our head coach. Which is not great. And we did lose also Kevin Eastwood in the AHL. So we did lose a couple coaches after a good season, which really sucks. We're just going to skip through that. And we're going to take a look at what coaches we lost. We'll take a look at the progress reports, the contract situation, and the draft class, of course, too. But, damn, man. So it was our assistant coach that we lost in the NHL, and in our AHL, it was probably either our goalie coach or assistant. I don't think we had an assistant in the AHL last year, so it must have been our goalie coach. But, yeah, we definitely need a new NHL assistant coach. So there is that. Let's take a look at the progress reports. Any good growth or drop off? Looks like, wow, Weber dropped down all the way to an 85. Or no, he was an 86 last season, I guess. But Weber's a pending free agent, I'm pretty sure. Cardwell's up to an 80, which is great. He's a medium elite guy. He's listed as a top 4. So Our defensive core might go through some change next season again, which is okay if Cardwell's going to jump up. I'm really happy that he's actually going to jump up. So we're going to have a couple medium elite defensemen with him and Hartnell in our lineup. Any drop off though that I'm seeing? Is that Hinton dropping already? No, he's getting statistical growth. Wilm is still franchised right now, but he might be elite next season only. Man, we might still have a good team next season, but the chances of us getting back to a cup finals is always up in the air, because we might have too good of a team or a team that just doesn't want to assimilate well. Yeah, Burkhoff being back for another 5 seasons is a choice. I mean, he was good. Regular season wise, playoff wise, he won a Vezina. I'm not saying that we definitely did not make the wrong decision doing that contract extension, but if we would have played a little bit better in that cup finals, or maybe we would have played a little bit better in front of him, maybe we've had a Stanley Cup to show for it as well. But there's that contract situation. This is the big one, because like I said, we have some big players up for renewal. Yeah, we have probably not a ton of cap space, and we have a lot of big players up for renewal. Classic wants $14 million. There's a high chance he can't come back unless we get him for a 1-year deal. We have Habscheid, who wants 1 year at 9.9. He still has RFA status for 1 more year, so we probably have to qualify him. We have Weber, who wants $7 million as a pending UFA. There's a chance he leaves. We have Hartnell, who is also pending RFA. We could give him a 4x6. I don't mind that, but he's only an 81, so it is a bit of a risk, but he's up for renewal. Paco is up for renewal. He wants a lot of money. Jeez. Burish also is a pending UFA, so our entire defensive core could be different next season. And we have guys like Raymond who could crack into our lineup, Cracknell who could crack the lineup, Fragapane, Mangone. So we do have some replacement guys for the defenders in the NHL, but I don't know who we want to let go of and who we don't. Because obviously if our defensive core becomes too weak, we might not be that good in front of our goaltending, and our goaltender might not be that good. And we have a choice with the goaltending. Bodens as the backup likely would be the case, I think, next season. And I think we could run Misselli as a 3rd goalie in the NHL. But I don't really know if that's really a good spot for him. We could also have him as an AHL starter as an 80 overall, but that's kind of weird. So it's up to you guys on that front. But yeah, it's going to be a very pricey offseason. And the fact that I think Wilm has... Yeah, Wilm, I believe... Where is he? Where is the man? I think Wilm is only signed for, a couple more seasons. So we're going to need some money down the road to re-sign him. And obviously I don't want to lose him, because Wilm is the guy that needs to be here right till the end regardless. So there is that. And final thing, the draft class. Where are we drafting? Probably 32, I guess, right? Yep, 32nd overall. So we're probably not going to get anything super good with our drafts from here on out. But you never know, unless we find a good low elite. There is a franchise playmaker supposed to go 1st overall this year. Well, that would have been intriguing to have on our team, but definitely we would never be that bad of a team. I don't think. Let's see, though. What is supposed to go around 32? We got Wilds. Some of these guys don't look the best. Henderson, 4 years out. He could be a low elite because he's 4 years out, but I doubt it. Ooh. Okay. There's a highly goaltender supposed to go 36th. I know we need more goalie prospects. Wow. 3 years out. So this guy would make it before the end, potentially, of the series. That's intriguing. He's very good reflex-wise and athletic, but his puck control is not that good. Wow, that might be one of the better goalies I've ever seen in a draft class. So the Ukrainian Vyacheslav Zadorov honestly could be our 1st round pick, because I don't think Henderson's worth it based on the fact that we see a high elite goalie. You don't see them too often. You see medium elite goalies a lot more, obviously, but high elites, especially projected that high up in that little of ETA, that's pretty impressive. He's only 18. So, but then there's also Chris Madsden, who looks pretty good. We'll pin him as well. Miles Delorme looks decent, 4 years out. This actually might be an okay draft class. Lee Mendoza as a defenseman might be elite. It's tough to tell. There's another medium elite goalie in Eli Crawford, who looks actually really good too, only 4 years out, but obviously I'd rather take the high elite. Yeah, this actually looks like maybe an okay draft class in terms of some players, but then you get to this stage and it's like, not so much. But let's see if we can find any other good steals to pin. So we already have our goaltending that we need pinned. Let's see if there's anything else here. There's another goalie again. Any low elites though? That's what I'm curious on. Give me a low elite, please. Thank you. Low elite two-way defenseman George Klein. He's already 19 years old, 5 years out. He might not make it before the end of the series, but still would be nice to draft him. Same with Len Jennings, which is kind of a weird name. He's almost like Ken Jennings, the guy that was on Jeopardy, I think. Wilson Bendahan could be low elite. Open a couple of these dudes, might as well. At least all the ones that are 3-bar low elite potential. Burmistrov, no weakness. He actually might be a low elite for sure on that front. Maybe a low 6 though. So I think our draft selection in next episode will likely be this high elite goaltender. Because, I mean, the fact that he's 3 years out, that means he'll make it before the end of the series. And also, maybe he's that goaltender that could take us to that next level. Maybe he's not. But still, I don't think I've ever seen a high elite goaltender that's that high of an overall potentially. Like, he could be like a 65 overall high elite at 18, which is really, really solid. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So, it really sucks that we lost in the Cup Finals this year. But if we're able to somehow hold on to a good chunk of this team going into next season, and then we get a little bit more injection from the AHL, maybe we could still be good. But obviously, I think our window might be closed, but it's very tough to tell, obviously. So, anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.